All right. Welcome everyone to the JT Ride or Dice podcast. We are so happy and excited to have you guys here with us today. We have a very fun episode for you guys. This is actually a podcast made for Justin Timberlake fans by Justin Timberlake fans. And we are actually going to be talking about Justin Stays on the Mickey Mouse Club. If any of you guys remember seeing him on there, I definitely do. This is going to be a pretty fun episode for us all. So, Kemi actually, she went to the Mexico show, one of Justin's festival shows. So, Kemi, why don't you tell us all about it? And welcome back. We are so happy to have you back with us.
Awesome. Thanks so much. I'm so excited to be here. I went to the Monterey show a couple weeks ago, and it was really awesome. Wearing the shirt, it's the name of the show is called Pal Norte, which means to the north in Spanish. And it's actually a music and arts festival that they've had since like 2012 in Monterey, Mexico, which is like about an hour and a half flight north of Mexico City. And it's usually like bringing a lot of talent within Mexico, but it also the last couple of years it's brought a lot of American acts as well too. And it's usually a 3-day event. So imagine like being in this humongous park with over 100,000 people in a 3-day event. Like that is massive. So it's definitely bringing a lot of money and a lot of people to this town of Monterey, which is really cool. So for this event, there were actually a lot of American groups that were there during the 3-day event. So for example, there was Green Day, Olivia Rodriguez, Fall Out Boy, which I saw because they were right before Justin, Kings of Leon, Garbage, Benson Boone, Foster the People, the Chainsmokers, and also I think for the first time they had a K-pop group called 17. So they were a really big draw as well. And like I said, a lot of Mexican groups as well too that were there as well. But obviously I was there for Justin, and he was there on the second night. And it was actually kind of interesting because I was like stressing out the entire time because they didn't announce the lineup until a couple of days before the event. So I wasn't sure he was going to be on in the afternoon or the evening because the gates opened up at 2 p.m. And honestly, if I was like younger, I would have been there at 2 p.m., but I'm not young anymore. So I was trying to figure out what time he's going to be on. So he was scheduled to be on around 11:30 midnight on Saturday. So I definitely wasn't going to show up at 2 p.m. I was going to get there at a respectable time, and it was really great to see because this is my first time being at a festival and there's a lot of people, but I never felt crowded or like really weirded out. It was planned out really well. The park that was held at is very massive, but there were a lot of people to help you out. There was a lot of directions. If you needed help, there were people posted up. Everyone was super friendly, so I never felt like crowded or any of that weird stuff. But yeah, like I got there at maybe like around 6 o'clock. I kind of like walked around and saw like all the things that was available. And it was really cool because you can actually like either sit down and like try out some food because they have food stalls all over, but they also had a lot of entertainment factors as well too. They did have Justin merch. That was great. But it was the same as this tour. So I wasn't really like feeling it. It was not as cheap as I thought it would be. But it was kind of cool that they had it. And yeah, so I decided like when I got there that I was not going to go up to the front. Like that was not going to happen. There's way too many people. I'm going to have enough space where I'm just going to sit down and chill and enjoy it. So I kind of like sat down and like hung out. Fall Out Boy was actually right before Justin, and they were really cool. It kind of brought me back to like my MTV years and just like thinking about all the songs that they had, and people were having a really great time, and it was super fun. And then once they left, like a lot of people were like leaving, and a lot of people were going in. So I got a little bit closer to the stage enough to be comfortable. And before you knew it, Justin came on stage, and again, he was amazing as usual. I actually have, I don't know if you can see the photo, you probably can't, but that is Justin on stage.
I love that, yeah.
I really enjoyed his outfit. Like he had on the black leather jacket with like the white frill underneath, a Led Zeppelin t-shirt, red pants, which he looked amazing on, and the Mexican flag. And when I tell you this boy was happy, I have never seen him relax and chill. And I get it because it's a festival, so you're not really on a timetable. You can be free. You can kind of like improvise and like have a good time. And he just really appreciated the crowd, like talking back to them, like making jokes, dancing around, interacting with his singers. And it was just a really great experience to see everyone around me singing the songs, which was mostly like a Latin crowd. And they knew the most updated songs too. Like it wasn't just the hits. It's like I'm like,
Oh wow,
this is really great.
Yeah,
like
awesome.
that's
yeah,
really
like
awesome.
so overall, it was a really great show. I felt super happy to be there, and people were amazing. And I really think he got his mojo back in regards to these tours, just kind of like being free and just doing his own thing. And yeah, highly recommended. Excellent. Definitely would do it again. 10 out of 10 as usual.
Oh,
He
that's
did
so
seem
awesome.
happier on the festivals,
Yeah.
honestly. You bring up a good point. He just seemed like carefree and having a good time. The same with his dancers and team and everything.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Mm-hmm. I agree
You
so
got
as well.
another one, right?
I do. Okay.
Right?
So
she was like hoping no one would bring that up or something.
I know. My final show. I feel like I've been saying this for like the past year and a half.
She
My
has.
final last one.
I don't believe it.
Yeah. So the last one will be in Ireland, in Dublin, in June. So that's like the last one. And I believe it's called Malahide Castle. So it'll be interesting to see how he's going to perform. I'm assuming it's going to be outside on the field and the castle in the background. So we'll see how that will go. But yeah, that's going to be a super fun one. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, that's so
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
So glad you had such a good time. And yeah, definitely all the colors that he's been wearing. I'd love to see. I think we've all loved to see him wearing all the colors compared to what he wore on tour, like all the, black, and which I love them in black, but I love, we all wanted him to be in color more. So that's so awesome. So like I said, this episode, we're going to be talking about Justin and his time with the Mickey Mouse Club. The Mickey Mouse Club has been around for a very long time. It ended actually in 1996, but it actually started, I believe, in the 50s. And it's just been around, Justin came on and, it was a pretty well-known group of, well-known today, but he was, I think, 11 or 12 when he started on the Mickey Mouse Club. And before that, he was on Star Search. And there's actually a little bit of a connection with Star Search because the sound stages were kind of close to each other in Orlando, where he went, of course, Mama Lynn took him. And, this was after Star Search, he lost, he didn't win. So they were heading back to Tennessee. And they saw a TV advertisement for, auditions for the Mickey Mouse Club, and his mom turned to him and said, "Hey, do you want to audition?" And he said yes. So it was he mentioned how his mom, it was all fate, because why would the two stages being next to each other, it's kind of coincidental. I think he was meant to audition, and fate stepped in, and he went in and auditioned. Of course, he got in, with many other famous pop stars that we got to know throughout the years. Christina Aguilera, JC Chazé from NSYNC, Britney Spears, Carrie Russell was on there. Just some very well-known people.
Ryan Gosling.
I got to give Ryan Gosling credit. He kept up with them. Like it was just so unexpected for me. Like I was very surprised, but he did a really good job on that show too. And it's, the Mickey Mouse Club is kind of like a precursor to his time on SNL, because the Mickey Mouse Club is basically like a kid's version of SNL.
Right.
If you think about it, they did skits, they performed, it was like a variety show for kids. And Justin said, I think there was like 400 people in the audience. I think, if I remember correctly.
I think so. Not a very 400. He got to learn like how to control a crowd and perform and interact with people. And at that age, he did it really, really well, like how to be on camera, how to work with the camera, and like all this different stuff that he got to learn, from his time on the Mickey Mouse Club, which I think, like I said, it was a precursor to his time on SNL. So
I do actually have a little passage. If I can find it. He didn't talk about the Mickey Mouse Club much in hindsight, but just read a little bit. It's like 2 pages, I think he talked about it. He says, what I hadn't known when we came to Orlando was that Star Search was filmed at Disney MGM Studios on a soundstage in the back lot. And right next door, across a hall that split the two, was the soundstage for the set for the Disney Channel's The Mickey Mouse Club. While we were waiting to rehearse for Star Search, we'd work with the tutors who were there to give us our school lessons. Sometimes we'd ask if we could sneak a peek at the MMC set and they'd walk us in. The show wouldn't be filming and the lights would be down on the soundstage, but I could see where the set was and where the audience would sit. Looking in, literally seeing the set that I watched on TV with my friends from school was such a big moment for me. It made it all feel real, feel possible, and feel like something I could really be a part of. So that's definitely true. And I think his mom said, "Oh, we got a free trip to Disney World." So what kid wouldn't want a free trip to Disney World? I mean, Star Search and then going back for Mickey Mouse Club. I would love a free trip to Disney World. I've never been to Disney World. So.
Really?
It's okay.
I think I'm a little I'm like Universal Studios.
Oh, okay.
I think there's
honestly
10 times better and it is cheaper. So
yeah, I mean, that was the whole reason I wanted to go to Disney as a child, was to go to the Mickey Mouse Club and be part of the audience. Just like looking back at it now and watching these old clips, I forget how young these kids were. Like, these are literal babies, like on stage, performing, singing, acting, working a crowd. And it's just crazy to imagine, Justin being so young and knowing exactly what he wanted to do and how to, control a crowd and how to interact with people at such a young age, and having a mom who was super supportive of that. I think that's really important to highlight as well too. So, just looking back at it, it's just amazing. All of that raw talent, not only from him, but everyone on that program, they're able to kind of just be themselves. So like seeing them on TV, they felt like idols to me. I remember like rushing home every day from school, watching it and like just being mesmerized by it. Like I really think it was definitely ahead of its time. So I really enjoyed the Mickey Mouse Club. So yeah.
Okay, so what stood out to me from the passages were 2 major things. One, it's Star Search, and then it leads into Mickey Mouse Club. Was they said like on Star Search, like his audition tape for Star Search had like soul music, which is always something he's been very dedicated to. Yet when he got there, they were like, "No, we want you to sing a cute little country song and a hat or boots." And he said, though he was like really happy to be there, was like, that's not really what he wanted to do, because that didn't showcase his talent. And it's a cute performance. It's a great performance. But then he like ended up losing. And I felt, when you see the original video, which you can go online and look up, I believe you can also look up, I think he lost to a girl, right?
Yes,
he did. Yeah.
So the song that the girl has actually allows her to capitalize her talent and her voice a little better. But I think they saw this little cute white boy with a twang from Memphis, Tennessee. Let's put him in a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And he was just happy to be there. He wasn't like, I lost, whatever. But I thought by the time he gets to Mickey Mouse Club, like, and they say like the audition, like 20,000 kids, I think he said that week.
Yeah.
And then it came down to like 27 kids in the camp, and then further. So when you look at it that way, like the kids that made it were very special. But the show also allowed them to showcase their vocals.
Pick their own material.
He could get in, they R&B and soul was very popular at the time. So I think he was able to showcase he wanted to do better. So definitely Star Search was it was meant to like open that door, and then Mickey Mouse Club really took him further. Yeah. And I thought the story after he left was just as interesting too, about how, his mom put him in so many activities, and because he was just like bored. Like, how do you go from being this kid on TV in front of a crowd to like just another kid in the high school? And then, like you said, kids bully you and they make fun. It doesn't matter how cool you were on TV.
Mhm.
you know, now you're just back home and the kid who likes to sing and dance, which wasn't always like a popular thing for boys back then, unfortunately.
Right.
Not like it would be probably considered now, would probably be different. But I just thought it was great that as soon as he left,
Mhm.
he had to get into a whole bunch of activities because
Mhm.
otherwise he was, shown out. So it's very clear from like a young age, obviously that was what he was meant to do. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely. And he worked hard to do it too. The thing is, like, he talked about being 8 years old and doing pageants, which helped him prepare for the Mickey Mouse
That was
Club.
Yeah.
And it
Mhm.
wasn't
I
a
think that's
popular
funny,
thing
too.
to do. No, boys didn't do that. He got picked on for it, but he's like, I'm gonna do this because this is what I want to do. And obviously he didn't want to do the pageant portion of it, but you had to do that to do the rest of it. So at 8 years old, he was already like kind of like an old soul. Like, he knew what he wanted to do. He went that route. And the thing that stinks about Star Search is he absolutely was meant to lose because that set him on the path that he's at nowadays. So everything does happen for a reason. But when they were doing the stars and like the scoring, he lost by so much, and I'm like, there's no way. Like, show me
That's
another
true.
11-year-old that can twang the way that he twangs, because his voice has a
Mhm.
amazing twang. So like, he could absolutely do country, but obviously we love R&B and all that stuff with his voice, but there's no way it wasn't closer than that. So that was the part that irritated me, but like, it is what it is. But I'm like, she did not win by that much. Like, that's silly. But where is she now? And where is he? So
Yeah. Well, I think like with Star Search, they have a certain audience that they are catering to, and there are certain
and that's
songs
what he says
as well.
in the book.
Yeah. So like R&B and hip hop was really not a thing. Like, there were a couple of groups and like comedians and stuff that were on that show, but if you're like, oh no, a cutesy little girl, singing "You Are My Sunshine" against, a boy singing a country song, they're going to cater to that, which is fine. Like, I think it was definitely a learning lesson for him, and he's propelled himself to be who he is today. I think a lot of people don't give him his flowers and recognize how long he's been in the game for, like, almost 30 plus years. So he is seasoned. He is a veteran in this. He knows exactly what he needs to do as soon as he gets on that stage, and not only an amazing artist, but a producer, songwriter, everything, all of that, it comes together. And it's just crazy to see, like, even at age 11, he was still able to be an old soul, like you were saying. Like, it still blows my mind. Like, wow, like back in the day, it was the right opportunity at the right time, and he had the backing of his family to do that. So I think that's a really amazing thing.
Yeah, it's just so awesome. Like,
exactly. And he always took it and did it even further. So like he said on the Disney Channel special, where he's like, you have to practice your craft and make it the best that it can possibly be. He did that. He's doing that by example, because he talked about how he would always watch his performances. He would be writing notes in a notebook and making it to be that much better the next time. So not only was he in the right place at the right time, but he worked really hard for what he has. And a lot of people don't recognize that or give him the credit for it. They're just like, oh, he's so good at everything he does. But yeah, he works at everything he has too. He's put a lot of time and effort into it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like, I mean, him at 11, 12 years old, knowing that's what he wanted to do and him sticking with it, because if it were me, I'd probably quit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I mean, he had that tenacity at that age, and, his mom being really supportive helped too. So, I mean, you have that supportive system with his mom, saying you can do this, you can do whatever you put your mind to. And he definitely did that and has done that and still continues to do that. So there were a lot of Justin clips that I've definitely watched. We've all been watching clips from his days on Mickey Mouse Club. Do we have any favorites? Anything that stood out to us? Yeah.
Absolutely.
We do. Oh my gosh. I just love when he's singing. So the "Cry for You" performance, I think, is one of my favorites.
Oh my God.
First of all, you have like a bunch of teenagers talking about crying for a woman is just hilarious to me.
Right.
Yeah, I broke your heart at 12 years old.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
But they were able to maintain a crowd, and the harmonies were on point. Like Justin, JC, Ryan, all of them, they were just like amazing, like interacting with the crowd. And I believe them. I was like, yeah, you guys really are crying for a woman. You want her to come back home. Like,
Yeah.
it was just like great to see. And I think that's one of my favorite performances. And I do like his little skits too, especially with JC. And you can really see the bond between them. Like, they've been brothers for a very, very long time. And I don't think anything's going to break that. So to see them like interacting and growing up together is really sweet to see. And I think like Justin had like a really great vibe with everyone, and it's just kind of like awesome to see him do that at such a very young age. Like, I have to keep reminding myself, like, this is a child, you know, for acting and doing things like as someone twice his age. And it's just like really a great moment to have. So I think those are my favorite moments.
He definitely was versatile. So
yeah, that's what I think that one was my favorite singing skit, because I just thought it was hilarious. Like,
it was hilarious.
And honestly, I really, this is totally off, but I think about it now. I wonder if that wasn't like the precursor to Gone with NSYNC. You have to follow me for a second, because, okay, so Cry For You was a song in the 90s, you know, from Jodeci. Song is about, you know, woman left him, he wants his woman back, you know. They don't beg like that like they used to. I'm just gonna, you know, an R&B. Like, that was the time. Men have to go back to begging, and I think the music would get better.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, it's hilarious. These kids are like, if someone was like, the child support was about to be due, the divorce papers was almost signed, they were begging for their life. So kids. But looking back now too, like, Justin wrote Gone because his girlfriend at the time, this is how dramatic this man is, literally went to get her nails done and was gone for a few hours, and then he was like, I really miss her, and he wrote Gone.
Oh my
God. Just
That's
Google that story. It's
right
crazy. Like, how dramatic. And then we got one of the best sing songs ever. So I felt like if we needed an origin story of dramatics, it definitely started with the Mickey Mouse Club. And then my favorite, like, I think my favorite non-singing skit was like the note passing skit, which is like a skit where like a bunch of kids pass notes around, but it starts with Justin. And the boys and girls try to manipulate it. He's asking one of these little girls in his class out on a date, and somehow, because it reminds me of Telephone back in the day. Yeah, do you remember Telephone, where you started with one thing, then you passed it around or something else? But then at the end of the skit, the guy has so much swag. He still, I think it was Christina Aguilera in the skit, actually rewrites the note so that it comes back to him, and he still gets Stacy. And in the YouTube comments, people like, even back then, you had to get a girl with words. So that one is super cute, just because childhood memories for sure.
Oh my God. Kills.
Absolutely. Another one I really liked was the Boys to Men skit. The song. He had the little bandana on, and it just, you know, showed his R&B side and how he can do all the different, like, it showed like an intro into how he can like do the beatboxing. He can mix up his voice to do like so many different things. I felt like that was a good foreshadow into that, because like he was, you know, changing things up, and he was so talented. And I just appreciate all of this stuff, like, at that age. I mean, him and Christina was another standout for me, because her voice was incredible.
Oh yeah.
And so those two were always my favorite. And so I was really happy to see them both super successful. And as far as the skits go, I really like the one he did with JC, where he met the girl online and she thought he was older.
That's my favorite.
Yes, I love that.
So I just want to mention the name of some of these skits in case you want to look it up. I think Kels was talking about the Motown Philly performance from Boys to Men. Cry For You was the one. I mean, Kemi were talking about, note passing skit was when I was talking about, and Megabyte Matchmakers. It was the one Kel is
with Rona.
It's just really,
and it was so funny
cute.
because it showed JC and Justin's dynamic together, how they're like real life brothers, but you like saw it on the screen. So I felt like there wasn't much acting that had to be done with the two of them, and it was just so funny. I love
JC
that.
was smaller than Justin was, and it was so cute.
You're so young.
Him
Yes.
looking up at JC.
Yeah, he's so small. And country, I forget. He has worked on that accent.
That is true, yeah.
Like, I forgot how country that child used to be.
Yeah.
My goodness. But it's funny because he was only on there like 2 years. It was 2 years, right? And you really see a difference between the first year when I was watching some of the clips and the second year when they back probably from summer break. He had grown like quite a bit. And then by the time you entered from that year,
he did.
Making it in sync. It's like a whole different person.
Another person, yeah, absolutely.
Right. So those puberty years hit him hard.
Yeah. And while we're talking about MMC, I just want to shoot my shot here. Like, I don't know who I need to speak to or who I need to send a letter to or whatever, but Mickey Mouse Club needs to either be streamed on a platform or released on DVD. Like, I don't know what the problem is, but like, I would just love to have that available in my hands. And like, the younger generation needs to know about this too, because the amazing talent that came out of that, oh my gosh, like it definitely needs to be out.
Stream it.
Yeah, I agree. It should be streamed. Like, I mean, come on. Like, the fact that is it not on Disney Plus at all?
No.
I think there's two things happening. I think it could be a licensing thing because Disney has changed hands as far as who owns what. The other thing is too, it all comes down to profit. Okay, us old heads would like to watch it.
Seasoned, not old, seasoned.
Seasoned, there you go. Seasoned old heads, but would like to watch it, but kids don't follow that back in. Like a Mickey Mouse Club, Keenan and Kel, all of that was very generational. And unfortunately, the dynamic for children has changed so much. And I was watching it earlier, and I was like, it would be great to see a legitimate sketch show. Some of that had moved online, even into YouTube. That's a whole other can of worms of craziness. But some of that kids watch now exclusively like on YouTube, like because no one has cable anymore. So back in the day, the only way you could see shows like that were like if you had cable. There was no YouTube. So like, I mean, I was like 2 or 3 years old when that started. But then in my house, when we finally got cable, which was probably not till I was like 7 or 8, things stayed on TV, so you could see it in I forgot what you call that, but they play it later. They would play it later for you. Syndication, yeah. So it's like as much as I want it, I think it comes down to licensing, and like they don't feel it would. I don't think they feel it would be like profitable, maybe to buy it.
Well,
the alternative.
I'll buy it all. Like I am seasoned and I got money. So if you want to stream it directly to me,
she's gonna be the one buying. No, I'm kidding. There'll be many buyers. I mean, the other alternative, which they do all the time, would be to make it, available in like redo them in like 4K. Put them on like a YouTube premium kind of thing. They do that all the time. Where you could, like you said, you could buy it. You could physically buy it in seasons. I think that would be that would be fun because I miss those shows. Yeah, I miss those teenage children sketch shows, whatever you want to call them. That
I
was
do too.
So much a part of our generation. One. Yeah. It was literally like, if anyone very young is watching this, it was literally like SNL for children.
Right.
Now, looking back on it, MMC was like way cleaner than maybe like all of that or Keenan and Kel, because some things have come to light that were like, I can't believe they were saying all that. But it's funny because when I was watching some of the MMC, I was like, it really was for kids. And then I do think like all of that and Keenan and Kel, like they really upped the ante of what I think children found funny or could handle. But I think Mickey Mouse Club was still really good for showcasing like singing and talent and stuff like that. the Nickelodeon shows maybe didn't have. So
yeah, me too. I mean, like my favorites were for performance wise, what's it called? The Way Love Is, a Bobby Brown song that he did, which I watched that more times than I can count. Like I just thought that was just so cute. The choreography, how he kept up with kids that were older than him, just blew my mind. And my favorite part was when he turned the chair around and he just gave a smirk. Like, who are you at 12?
He's always known how to work a crowd. Always.
Like, oh, this is for the girls.
He does.
That was so
This is for the girls. Like, I just thought that was the funniest thing. And then my favorite non-performance skit was probably the same one as the Megabyte Matchmaker with JC. I just thought that was hilarious. So it was a different time because there was no social media either.
Right.
So it was just such a different time. It was just crazy, like how social media has just changed this generation so much, and we grew up watching like all these different shows, and you know, we had cable, we didn't have social media back then, so it was just you know,
and you have
crazy.
to watch it when it aired, otherwise you didn't see it.
You had to wait till the summer for reruns.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You had to wait.
I spent my whole summer break watching reruns of anything and everything. So
same.
And I think in a way, sometimes it's better not to have social media because everyone wants to like be the person to jump on social media and maybe pick something apart or find something that someone else didn't find. Where back then it was like you watched something and maybe you couldn't wait. The extent of it, you couldn't wait to go to school and talk to your friends about it the next day.
Right.
That was it. But it wasn't like that undercurrent. You know, there were no comment sections to be like, well, what's going on with his hair this week? Or, you know, stuff that we see today that just like sucks all the fun out of everything.
Yeah, I don't know. Do we think it could be made today? I don't know, because of social media. I don't know. Like you said, Janira, like there's all this negativity. Like, you know, people can comment now.
You could do it, but it'd be times 10. I mean, I don't know if it would be a positive experience for children at all, to be honest with you. Not into because.
No, sorry, go ahead.
No, there was recently a documentary on Netflix called like Bad Kid Influencers. And basically, I mean, the person who was doing it was a horrible human being to start with. But it made me think that, if they did it today, kids would have to have online followings and they would be expected to have social media. And even if they did it, how much would they be subjected to attacks online? So could they do it? Absolutely. But would it be great for the kids doing it?
No.
Probably not, unless they were just surrounded by really, really good people and, you know, professionals all the time.
Yeah. And I think a lot of a lot of companies aren't really invested in having kids because they see it as a loss per se. They would rather like deal with adults. And then of course with all of the news that you're talking about as well, it seems too much of a risk. It would probably be something that would be on YouTube or like something like that, like on a platform. But at the same time, we're still talking about children. Like I feel it would lose its authenticity. It would look for like influencers instead. And like, is that really a show? You know, and unfortunately, there are parents out there that will do anything to make their kid a star. So I don't know. I feel like it'd be a lot more trouble than it would end up being. So who knows?
Yeah.
And then we're learning that even shows back then. I mean, they did a series on it on ID channel, you know,
right.
People now, some people made it out. And then you had people like Amanda Bynes that did not make it out. So it's not to say like, oh, everything was back in my day, everything was, no, shit was raggedy. So if they did it again, it would have to be with a lot of safety measures and safety guards. I would hope they would learn their lessons of the good and the bad that they did. But I can't, as far as the entertainment world, I can't make that promise.
No, and it's so different now than what it was back then. The entertainment world has just changed so much. So yeah, it definitely would be a risk if they did decide to do something like that, but I doubt it would ever happen. So I think we have some news and facts. Does anyone want to read, or I can read?
You can. I'll take the second.
So we have the Polestar tour results for 2025. Justin was number 3 for the tours for 2025. So
oh wow,
originally it was number 3.
Oh, cool. So when they did the second one, because didn't they do one like earlier? He was 4, and then but they had done it like in November. So I guess they did another completed version.
I guess they did, yeah. But he was 3rd.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is good for him.
That's really awesome because, first of all, we all know with the recession and things that are going on, and ticket prices are just absolutely crazy. But also the fact that, you know, he's older now, he's been in the game for so long, and, you know, the whole like ruined a tour meme, everything. But so the fact that he's number 3 is amazing to me. So I think that really just shows his professionalism and his love for the fans and love of touring and interacting with us. I think that is something that should be applauded, because not a lot of people are doing the same thing that he's doing, you know, at his age. So I think that's really awesome to see number 3. Like, I'll take it. Like, I saw how much money he was making, and I was just like, if that's what's considered being ruined, then I will take it. Like,
and also out of the 2 before him, wasn't his tickets the most expensive when I scanned the list? I think pretty. So, it was like Coldplay. I forgot who's number 1, which I didn't even know Coldplay was on tour.
Was number 1. Yeah,
it was Coldplay and somebody else. But I think Justin's tickets were the most expensive. I think the average was. You know, it was crazy to me because and people said that, like I said, I didn't know Coldplay was on tour, but props to them for like the first or second spot. But so I found was interesting was they were saying like the average ticket sale was like 176.
Yeah.
Okay. They were saying that the average was like $176 per ticket. And I just want to say,
really?
I really don't know me or none of my friends didn't pay no $176 per ticket for nothing. And a lot of people said the same thing about Coldplay, where they said their tickets were like on average 112. And nobody in the comments said they paid 112. So I'm not really sure how good their averaging of the prices were.
Yeah, Shakira was number 2. Coldplay was number 1. Justin was 3rd. Yeah.
Right.
And his tickets were the most.
Yeah. So they were like 176. I was like,
listen.
What?
where were those tickets?
Where were they? I never paid that. I never saw that. I mean, I guess for like nosebleeds, I don't know. But I even did lower bowl, and I never paid that. So. Anyway, big ups to him. His were the most expensive, and he still charted 3, so that's saying something. The other one was like he had new Nike shoes. Victory. Yeah, so the Justin has new Nike shoes, the Victory Tour 4 Golf. They were made in Italy, and they commemorate, I think I said that right, his birthday. So there were only like 1,981 pairs in honor. And they were $500. Now I looked it up on Nike. They went on sale yesterday. They're no longer there. So I don't know if they're delay in sale or if they just sold out. But keep in mind, it was going to be like online and in the golf stores.
Got it.
So if they only had 1,900, there's probably a very small amount online and then also spread throughout their stores. But I couldn't find it, so maybe they sold out. They're really cute, but I have
they are actually very nice shoes
for $500 golf shoes.
Golf shoes.
Yeah, I mean, if he wants to like give like 3 pairs away to try them out, like I'm all for it. But
yeah, no.
I'm not. Golfing is not my thing.
Yeah, right.
Congratulations to those. I'm happy for you, and I'm sure they look amazing. But yeah, I think that's good for him.
What they pay, quality control for. Unfortunately for us,
yeah, right.
Because his other sneakers, like in 2018, I think they were like 300. I think they were 250 or 300, but in inflation. I don't think I paid $500 for regular Nikes. I just never loved anyone that much. So
yeah, I could use that for something else, but congrats to all those who got them.
We have. That's the price of VIP, and
I know.
I still have some qualms about that. So
it went to a good cause,
right? But it was an experience. I'd rather pay for the experience than shoes. That's just
yeah. I mean, no shade to Justin. Good for you. do what you got to do, but I'd rather pay for the experience, like you said.
I told someone said, on Twitter, someone said, in this economy, and I said, look, you know, we're here. He's up there. Like they're not him, Beyonce. They're not thinking in the trenches. No. Okay, it's up to you to decide to buy your groceries instead of Nikes. So
exactly.
Yeah, groceries.
Yeah, right.
Shoes or food.
And, you know,
he has the 8 a.m. golf invitational next week, April 24th.
Yes, he does. Speaking of golf, he has the 4th annual 8 a.m. golf invitational at the Wynn in my hometown of Las Vegas, April 24th through the 27th.
Yeah, it's a closed charity event, but it's always. I think I just look at it to see what he's wearing. Some people are like, they should wear it. I would love to watch.
We'll be looking to see what he's wearing.
I would never love to watch that ever, but I would.
Our invitations got lost in the mail, so.
I mean, if they showed that on TV, I would not be mad at that. I mean, my dad watches the Masters every year, so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, no. I would take the clips and the highlights. That would be more than enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll donate. I'll donate to the charity. I got $3. No. The SpongeBob meme. I got $3. You know, I'll probably end up gambling, and that's how
exactly
get my money.
Exactly.
But yeah, it'll
be
nice.
A new tour date.
Yeah, but it'll
this
be
man
nice.
Just keeps adding dates.
Right? No, I've never heard of that country. Anybody run this? Is Baku? That's all I got.
Baku. Yeah, I have no idea. I've never heard of that country. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Oh, Azerbaijan. It's like one of the sand countries in that area.
I mean, them and the other place I forgot that we said on the last podcast, but they are opening for more travel artists, more tours and travel. I think J-Lo is even going to be there. So is coming through there. So I'm happy for them. I mean, because these places are no joke. You know, just because I ain't heard of you, be like, I ain't heard of what's the big deal. Well, I mean, these stadiums and the last two he added, which I'm kind of low key jealous, are not festivals. They are private concerts in stadiums that hold 50,000 people. I think for each one. That's amazing. I'm interested to see if it's going to be the 1.5-hour set list that we've had for the festivals, or are there going to be the concerts from y'all know what I'm saying. Forget tomorrow.
Yeah, if it's going to be different or not. Yeah, I'm just really happy for them to see it, because I think what sometimes people don't realize is that we're very privileged of having Justin in the U.S. or in our area, and we're able to see him, and not a lot of people have that privilege to do so.
Right.
So he's visiting a lot of places that for the first time have seen him. So they really appreciate it as well too. And it's going to bring a lot of money and tourism into those countries. So I think that's really great to see. So, and there's demand for him, which I think is fantastic. So the more dates that he's adding, I think that's really awesome. I remember seeing maybe last year he was supposed to supposedly go to Australia. I don't know if that's still going to be a thing.
Yeah.
So I think the
that
more
was manifesting. No one ever. Yeah. They were just putting it out there, hoping it'll happen. I'm not saying it won't, because I know he sold out in. Why can't I remember that country's name? Sorry,
Georgia.
Thank you. That sold out within a matter of hours. So then they added Baku, and Baku hasn't sold out yet, but I think last time it was at 80%. And like I said, keep in mind, Georgia and Baku are very close to each other. So, he knew, I think the concerts are literally within a day or two of each other. So they knew. And then I tell a lot of people, people right now are obsessed with Kendrick Lamar and SZA. Are they selling it out? Beyonce too. Are they selling stadiums? Look, prices are expensive. The world is in chaos. What people are not taking into account is people will roll up same day. So anytime, most concert data considers the tour sold out at 80%. And then you have people usually that roll up same day or within a week or two, it'll sell out. So I'm happy for him going to these other countries. I, kind of wish he had done like one festival in the United States that wasn't Napa Valley. Like, I don't know anywhere other than Napa Valley.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Because that's just like crazy town. I'm sure it's going to be a great concert, but I just meant in conjunction with Napa. Not necessarily Florida.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Shit, I would have gone to Phoenix. I would have gone to Las Vegas. I'd have gone to some other places, but Napa's crazy. But yeah, so that's great. And July 27th is the end of the summer, so I'd like to say that might be the last one, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah,
like Kemi, we'll have to see if that's the last show.
Last one, I swear. Unless he, like, comes back to the U.S. or something. We'll see.
Well, thanks. Okay.
Oh my god. We'll take the quiz. Whoop whoop.
Now, is it multiple choice, or are we just like shouting out the answers?
We're just shouting out
the answers. Just let her do it.
She wants to know.
This is serious stuff. Like, I have a lot of knowledge, so I need to like face it. Well, I am.
Yeah, like I said, it's 3 questions. You're just shouting at the answers, no multiple choice or anything like that. So, first question. What was Justin's audition song for Mickey Mouse Club?
Wait, I know it was a country song. Oh, no, Lord.
No.
Wait. No, it was.
Was it When a Man Loves a Woman?
Yes.
Oh, which version, though? There's multiple versions.
It wasn't a country. It was the Michael Bolton version.
I don't know about that. There are multiple versions of that song.
He says in the book, ma'am, Michael Bolton.
Whatever.
Yeah, Michael Bolton's When a Man Loves a Woman. Yep, yeah. That was for Mickey Mouse Club.
I would love to see that. That would just freaking
I would love to see that too. I think that would be really cool.
And that's a hard song to sing too.
Yeah, and he does Michael Bolton impressions. Like he did it for SNL. He would do it on Jimmy Fallon. But like they were like, he was so good at it. He sounded just like him. But I would like to see his little kid what he sounded like.
Oh man, that would be just so amazing. If there's footage of that, there has to be somewhere.
Yeah.
Second question. What was Justin's answer when they asked him, why do you want to be on the Mickey Mouse Club?
To make money.
Yeah, he's for the money.
I'm in it for the money.
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah,
which is the honest answer. I mean, at 11 years old, that's...
So...
Yeah.
But he said he didn't he said he just did it because he knew the adults would find it funny.
Funny.
I feel like he was also serious, but...
I think he was too.
Right? Like,
I think
he was serious. But,
imagine,
it was funny.
Yeah, because like other kids would be like, oh, because I want to be a star, or like, oh, I want to like, I don't know, make my mom and dad proud. And he's like, nah, I'm in it for the money, which is honest, and you know,
it is honest. It's like, yeah, especially with those pageants he had to do. Is like there's certain answers I think that they were looking for, and you know they like that particular answer. I would have let him in too.
Yeah,
because that's
I'm surprised he didn't do it. I'm surprised he didn't say for the girls. Because I don't know if you've ever seen that interview where he's been interviewed before and he's saying that like one day he wants to be on the Mickey Mouse Club and the little girl next to him says, yeah, when we did the talent show and the girls.
Oh, that's right. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He was like, and I heard the girl screaming like Justin, 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 and his face was like, and I'm like, this little homie figured out real quick. Then the boys might pick on me and think I'm funny, you know, but the girls love me. So I'm like, that was a safe answer. I really think it was the girls, but just me.
Well, it could have been too, but he chose the money, so
right.
He chose the money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is the last question. What ride did Justin and Ryan Gosling ride 12 times? Disney World.
Hold on. I know this. Disney World. Okay. I know it's not this. It's not the teacups. I know that.
And I just know they stole the golf cart to get there in the employee passes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. Hold on.
Was it Magic Mountain?
That's a good one. Okay, give us a hint.
I'm out.
It's a scary ride.
Oh, the Tower Terror.
It's not,
I could have known that because that's my shit.
That's mine too.
That was
Yeah,
good.
Tower
12 times they went on that ride.
Ooh,
Gotta throw
no,
up.
thank you.
Like 3 in, but you know.
I
it
did
was
that
crazy.
once, and like that was enough for me. I was like, nope, never again.
Oh, that one was fun. Yeah, little boys are crazy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this was so much fun. We went down little trip down memory lane and we got to relive some nostalgia, which is always a good thing. Kemi, thank you so much for joining us. We love having you here. You are more than welcome to come back. You can talk about your Dublin show.
Absolutely.
We would love to have you for that. And thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to watch us on YouTube and Spotify. We are also on Twitter, Instagram, probably still TikTok. We're still up in the air.
I'm trying. Yes.
Still up in the air. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.